Hey folks, welcome to my Primal Carnage Extinction Early Access Review in Progress. Now, if you haven't checked out my Primal Carnage videos in the past, go ahead, click the link right down there in the description. Go ahead, check those out, pause the video if you want to, or watch them later. But anyway, this is going to be a review in progress of the new title from Circle 5, Primal Carnage Extinction. Now, there's been a lot of changes between the original Primal Carnage game from Lukewarm Media and the new iteration of Primal Carnage dubbed Primal Carnage Extinction from Circle 5 and Pub Games. Now, one of the first things that you're going to notice right off the bat when you get into this game or you watch somebody else play it is the overall graphical quality of this iteration of Primal Carnage. Now, Circle 5 and Pub Games have done a fantastic job of making the world around you seem more alive, more vibrant, and overall just more fulfilling. For instance, walking through bushes now shows an actual physical movement in those bushes. So you'll be able to tell when there's other players or dinosaurs or whatnot going through those areas. Lighting has been enhanced. There's been a whole bunch of new features added to the game. As of right now, currently, there are some graphical options that are unavailable, but they have been promised to us by the developers to be added in the future, such as things as better anti-aliasing, different graphical settings options. So we'll be sure to be able to touch on those at a later date. Now let's just go ahead and jump into the new features that I've noticed so far in Primal Carnage Extinction. So first off, your F key is no longer bound to melee. Melee has been completely removed from the game, and there's been no official word on whether it'll be added in at a later date or not. Your F key is now bound to your class-specific throwables, and I'll get to those in just a minute here. Another new addition is item drops. At the end of each round, you're going to be able to have a chance to get a item drop. So similar to games like T-Fortress 2, Counter-Strike Go, Dota 2, all of those games from Valve, it's a very similar system that's being implemented into Primal Carnage Extinction. Now those item drops are going to include things such as weapon skins, character skins, for both the humans and the dinosaurs. You're going to be able to get certain specific skins for the human side, for instance, things that go on your head, things that go on your back, weapons, all sorts of different things. There's a lot more gore in the game as well, so gore is ramped up quite a bit. Although, as it is right now, it's a little bit cheesy on the blood side. The blood seems very carnival in nature in a way. The server browser, when you're trying to find a server, is a lot better. It's more responsive, although it does need a lot of work to it. There are hit markers in game which are a ton better, but they still, like everything else, they need work. The user interface throughout the entire game is a lot better. It's more responsive, things are more noticeable and more distinct. Now let's go ahead and jump to class features. I'm going to go ahead and start with the human side because it'll be faster. Now, the Commando, the new F key ability for the Commando is to be able to throw down ammo for its teammates. Now, the Commando himself cannot pick up that ammo unless another Commando throws it down for him. But you can give ammo to your friendly teammates. The grenade on the rifle of the Commando does a lot more damage now, is much more accurate. The rifle itself, its primary fire is a lot more accurate. Its secondary is still the Deagle. While the Deagle's fire rate is very, very slow, it makes up for that kind of in damage. Now the damage isn't too good to be able to outweigh the fire rate negatives, but it is there. The damage is there. You can hit targets and do a significant amount of damage to them. So next up is the Trapper. The Trapper's F key ability is a throwable mine. You can throw this out and it'll bounce a little bit in front of you, so it has some physics issues, but I'm sure those will be resolved in the future. Whenever a enemy dinosaur walks over that mine, it explodes. Does a significant amount of damage, meaning for the smaller dinosaurs like the Raptor and the Dilo and the Terra, things like that, if they walk over it, it's typically a one-hit kill. For other dinosaurs larger, it's going to take some health off. It's not necessarily going to be a one-hit kill. The Trapper Net, it has a much slower reload speed. So it's typically going to be a life or death scenario if you're in the thick and thin there to have to reload and reshoot. Now, on the plus side, its main, which is the Magnums,
Oh shit.
they do a lot more damage and they're much more accurate. So that makes up for the slower reload time on the Trapper Net. So next up, Scientist. Scientist's F key ability is a droppable health pack. You can toss these out, as again, same with Commando. You yourself cannot pick up this health pack and use it, so it's only for your friendly teammates. But again, if another Scientist throws ones down, you can pick one up as well. The scope on the rifle has changed completely. I would say, personally, it's better. There are some tweaks I would suggest. The ADS, the aiming down sights, of the time between you press the right click on your mouse and the time between the sight popping up in the middle of your screen being able to shoot is a little bit too long for my own personal comfort, so I tend to stick away from the Scientist, but I'm sure it could be reworked in the future. I'm sure it will be. Now, the alternate weapon for the Scientist is the Trent Gun. Now, back in the original Primal Carnage, it was rather effective. It made the dinosaur screens very shaky, very distorted. So it kind of doesn't do that so much so in Primal Carnage Extinction as it did in the previous game, but I'm sure they'll work on it. Next class up is the Pyro, one of my personal favorites. Now, the Pyro's F key ability now is a throwable Molotov. So you'll be able to press F key, you get 2 of these, throw them out, and they will do damage in a certain area, wherever that Molotov hits, or it'll do damage directly to a dinosaur if you hit them head on. Its secondary weapon is a flare gun. You fire this at a dinosaur, and the dinosaur will take damage over time. Now, one of the cool abilities, which I think they added this in the original Primal Carnage, I'm not sure, I haven't picked it up in quite some time, is the chainsaw now overheats. Which is a cool ability because it doesn't use off of your straight primary ammo source for your flamethrower. Next up is the Pathfinder. Now, the Pathfinder, not much has changed. The Pathfinder still has its throwable flares. It still has a deagle. Same thing with the Commando. It's very slow. It does an okay amount of damage. But the main-handed shotgun is iffy at best. A lot of times you'll be aiming right on a dinosaur, shoot, and it does no damage. So it has some difficulties there that need to be kind of squashed out. Alright, and now to the dinosaur side of things, the things that everybody loves to play, and it is very difficult to get on the dinosaur side in a server most of the time. So let's start off with the T-Rex and the Spino. I'm going to go ahead and put these two together. Now, the T-Rex and the Spino, they are a lot more squishy than what they were in the original Primal Carnage. They can still soak up bullets, but it doesn't seem like they last a lot longer than, or even as long as they did in the previous game. The T-Rex's tail strike, it works a lot better, does a lot more damage, and is more effective. The Spino's swipe attack with its forward claws, it does more damage, and it is a lot faster. On that part, there's really not much more to say about these two classes. They really haven't been changed too much. So let's go ahead and hop over to the Raptor and the Oviraptor. Now, for the Raptor itself, the pouncing mechanics have completely changed. No longer will you automatically target onto a player and it'll just jump over and start eating its face off. Now you have a targeting system that you have to manually control, which is pretty cool in theory, but in practice it's shown that it's not very effective, it's very hard to do, and a lot of times it just doesn't work at all. Now the Raptor does move a lot faster, so there is that plus. It hits a lot harder with its primary attack, which is its biting and clawing. But with that pouncing mechanism there, which one other thing is you cannot cancel out of that pounce. Once you're pounced onto a player, you're there for the long haul. So if somebody starts shooting you or you see a player coming up to you that is going to hurt you, you can't just jump off and run away. So that needs to be fixed, and I'm sure they'll do that. The Oviraptor, I haven't had a chance to play with this too much. It does hit pretty hard. It moves very fast. But again, I haven't played enough on it, so I can't really give my good synopsis on it. Let's jump over to the Carnotaurus. Carnotaurus, it does more damage with its bite attack, which is great because before it didn't do that much damage. Now, it does headbutt people, but it doesn't launch them like it used to. You used to be able to basically do a field goal kick with those guys. You can't do that anymore, as it seems. It does heal faster though, so once you're damaged and you go back to get some health, you will gain that health back a lot faster than you used to in the previous game. Now let's talk about the Terra and the, I can't even pronounce the name of the other variant of this dinosaur. I'm just going to call them the two-pan from now. The Terra, it is a lot easier to pick up and drop players. It is ridiculously easier. It's a lot easier to fly. Things are more streamlined, and you tend to move faster and be able to get out of harm's way a lot faster. Now for the two-pan, I haven't played with it that much. To be honest, it doesn't really interest me too very much because you can't pick up players. Instead, it has a ram ability, so if a player is moving around or whatnot, you go down there like you would a Terra to pick it up. Instead of picking it up, you're going to ram it. So kind of a mix between the Terra and the Carnotaurus. It's a weird mix that I just don't really care much about. Now, the Cryo and the Dilo, they are a pretty fun class to play with, honestly. They both have a spitting ability, which the aiming is a lot better than what it was in the original Primal Carnage, but it does need work. Being able to show you where your spit lands and if it's hit somebody is hit and miss most of the time. The Cryo's ability, it does do damage over time, so that's good. With Dilo's, it really hasn't changed much, so it's still the same. So there we go. As of December 6, 2014,
Hello?
that is my
Can you hear me?
feature explanation of Primal Carnage Extinction. Now, it is a very fun game. As a lot of you know, it's one of my more favorite games. It holds a place in my heart for some reason because it's just fun. You can hop into it, get in a match, and just start wrecking people or getting wrecked yourself. There are a lot of things that need to change, a lot of things that need to be fixed, but this is early access, and those things will get attention paid to them. Now, as it stands right now, should you buy this game or should you not? Well, if you've owned Primal Carnage in the past, you have an 85% off coupon on your Steam account, which you can use to get the game for $3 US or your regional equivalent. So if you have access to that coupon, yeah, pick it up. $3 is $3. So go ahead, check it out. First, I would recommend checking out their Steam forums, their official forums on their website, and looking a bit into the game to see if the changes are something that you want to get into. This is early access, so as with all early access games, be wary. Do your fact checking, make sure you do your research. It's fun, plain and simple. It's a fun game. It's great to be able to hop into and just start eating people's faces off. So I can't really give you a definitive answer as to whether this game is good or this game is bad. It's in early access. The game is not officially out yet. But if you do decide to pick the game up, you are helping the developers be able to further develop the game and create it into something that is going to be very fun to play and really cool. So go ahead, check the game out. I've got links down there in the description. Give me you guys comments and whatnot. I am going to start up a somewhat of a series-ish thing, more on the lines of I'm just going to record whenever I play and I will upload footage. But I am also going to be doing this review in progress, so whenever there's a new major patch out that does a lot of bug fixing, changes a lot of things, adds things into the game, I will give you guys an update. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you guys can get let known when those videos do come up. And yeah, go back, check out my old Primal Carnage videos. The game is pretty fun, so if you like shooter games with the bit of a twist to it, go ahead, pick up Primal Carnage. If you've never seen it before or anything like that, pick up the original, try it out, see if you like it, then get the new one. Alright guys, until next time, see you later.
Die over here!
I like that they got rid of that.